Okay, we're going to call this evening's council meeting in order. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I was looking at you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Give you a future, and we pray that give us some openness and students, resources for our city.
Amen.
Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Ms. Simons. Mr. Fenstermaker.
Here.
Mr. Hamer.
Here.
Mr. Scholes. Ms. Grazia. Here. Mr. Smolik.
Here.
Mr. Ziegler.
Here.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and suspend the rules of council for swearing in of Officer Zachary Petrick and Joshua, oh boy, Grigas. All right. Whew.
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Thank you for coming tonight. We're excited at the police department to be promoting one new officer and swearing in another new officer. If I can have Mr. Joshua Grigas come up and his son Cole. So tonight I'm pleased to present Joshua Grigas for appointment as a lateral patrol officer with the Kirtland Police Department. He currently serves as a full-time officer for the city of Orwell, and he's got prior experience with the Cleveland Division of Police. He's also served with the Montville Fire Department since 2017, where he holds the rank of lieutenant. He successfully completed the required pre-employment process and screening based on his experience, work ethic, and references. I recommend his appointment and look forward to him serving the community. Take that. I'm going to take this and give that.
She's the media coordinator.
Good, take pictures.
All right. No further ado here. We're going to do the oath of office for the Kirtland Police Department. So please repeat after me. Raise your right hand. Right down on the Bible. I, Joshua Grigas,
I, Joshua Rodriguez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter,
the Charter,
the ordinances and resolutions
the ordinances and resolutions
of the City of Kirtland,
of the City of Kirtland,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
honestly, and impartially
honestly, and impartially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as police officer
as police officer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome. Welcome, nice to meet you.
I can get him to sign it later.
Okay.
All right. Last but not least, we have Zachary Petrick, if his two lovely daughters, Harper and Brooklyn, can come up here. So I'm pleased to recognize Zachary Petrick for promotion to the rank of sergeant with the Kirtland Police Department. Sergeant Petrick is known as a community-first approach. He's professional, fair, and he's service-oriented in his daily work. He serves as a field training officer, mentoring new officers and reinforcing high standards at the department. He has also worked as a detective, including experience supporting the U.S. Marshals Task Force, and brings specialized skills in computer forensics. He's completed the Northwestern School of Police Supervision, demonstrating a commitment to leadership development. I'm confident he will serve the department and community well in the supervisor.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. I, Zachary Petrick,
I, Zachary Petrick,
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Ohio. That's a joke. He asked me in the hallway before, he said, can you do this in short little bursts? Yes, we'll start again.
I,
Zachary Petrick,
Zachary Petrick,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter,
the Charter,
the ordinances and resolutions of the City of Kirtland,
the ordinances and resolutions of the City of Kirtland, and that I will faithfully,
honestly and impartially
discharge my duties as sergeant
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. Thank you.
Hey, Chief. Still short a police officer? Guy right there. Mike, we're short a police officer. You want to swear in today for us?
Okay, moving on. Going to move into the reading and approval, the minutes of the December 15th, 2025 work session meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Smolik with a motion to approve, Julie with a second. Any discussions? If not, Janelle, please call the roll.
Ms. Simons,
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hamer,
Yes.
Ms. Grazia,
Yes.
Mr. Smolik,
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Okay, moving into the minutes of the December 15th, 2025 council meeting. Looking for a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, Julie with a motion to adopt. Sue with the second. Any discussion? Janelle, please call the roll.
Ms. Simons,
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hamer,
Yes.
Ms. Grazia,
Yes.
Mr. Smolik,
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Okay, moving into department reports. Chief Hutton.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you all know, today is my last council meeting. Been doing this a long time. Fire chief now for 23 years. If you do the quick math on that, that's 529 council meetings that I've probably been to. Wow. I've worked with 5 different mayors and probably 50 plus council members. It's been a great ride. Worked with great people. A lot of them are here tonight. Some of them that I started with. Vicky, my administrative assistant from years and years ago, is here as well. It's just been great. And I'd like to read my letter, my retirement letter, if I could, right now.
Absolutely, please.
Thank you. And this went to Mayor Potter. And after 37 years with the Kirtland Fire Department, the last 23 years as chief, I will be retiring on Friday, January 9th, 2026. It has been a blessing, an honor, and a privilege to serve as fire chief and live and work in the city of Kirtland. The Kirtland Fire Department has always been like a family. They take care of each other, and that extends out to taking care of the community as well. We have the best, most dedicated, caring firefighters that go above and beyond every day. I want to thank, or actually, some may think that's their job, but just understand they do more to help the community and people than you could ever imagine. Quiet, with no accolades, is just the way they want it. I want to thank all the mayors, council members, department heads, city hall staff, past and present, and the Kirtland community for always supporting the fire department. To all the Kirtland firefighters that I've worked with throughout my career, thanks for making this the best job in the world. Mayor Pottegill always said, "You're only as good as the people you have working with you." Once again, I'm blessed with great people that made my job very easy. Most important, I want to thank my wife, Wendy, and my family for their support. They have sacrificed a great deal during my career, but always understood the demands of the job. Lastly, I want to congratulate Matt Colleen. I'm proud of the leader that he has become, and I can't think of a better person to be the next chief in Kirtland. I look forward to the next chapter of my life, and if I can assist the city of Kirtland in any way, please reach out to me. Thank you very much, and that concludes my career and report.
Chief, I just want to, on behalf of council and me personally, I want to thank you for everything you've done for the city of Kirtland. I wish you nothing but happiness and enjoy grandkids and family and the time to relax. You earned it. Thank you.
Well, Chief, been a pleasure working with you for 10 years. Who's your favorite mayor and who was your favorite councilor? You're retired now. You can say it with no consequences.
All right.
Kevin and myself, thank you.
All right, Chief, anything else this evening, or are you good to go? All right, that sounds great. Thank you again. Once again, on behalf of council, appreciate everything you've done for the city, and good luck. Chief McAllister.
Thank you, Council President Festermaker. Really nothing to report in the new year here. We did put forth some legislation to change some of the hunting regulations, and I'll let the mayor speak more on that. I have a letter for the community as well. If you would prefer, I can read it now, or I can wait till that correspondence.
You can read it now. Feel free.
So, dear members of the Kirtland community, as I prepare for my retirement as your chief of police, I want to speak directly to you and say two simple words that mean a great deal to me. Thank you. It has been one of the greatest honors of my professional life to serve this community and to wear the Kirtland Police Department badge on your behalf. From day one, I have understood that this position is not just a job. It is a trust placed in me by the residents, families, business owners, and visitors who call Kirtland home. Over the years, we have faced challenges together: severe weather, emergencies, changing laws and expectations, and the day-to-day issues that come with growing an active community. Through it all, your support for this department has never wavered. You waved to officers on patrol, picked up the phone to share information, showed patience when incidents disrupted traffic or routines, and backed us during difficult calls and investigations. That support mattered more than you know. I am proud of the work our department has done alongside you. We have built strong relationships with our neighborhoods, schools, faith communities, and local organizations, strengthened training policies and technology to better serve and protect you, and kept our focus on traffic safety, crime prevention, and community outreach so that Kirtland remains a safe and welcoming place to live and work. During my time as chief, we have steadily reduced crime, lowered traffic crashes year over year, improved the clearance and prosecution of crimes within the city, and increased traffic enforcement on hazardous and dangerous violations. We have also expanded our community outreach through programs such as DARE, Reading with the Students, Prom Promise, Buckle Up with Brutus, The Book Nook, Coffee with a Cop, and outreach at the Senior Center and local churches. All of these efforts share a common goal: to educate, to reduce crime and victimization, and to increase awareness and preparedness for critical incidents. None of this was accomplished by any one person. It's always been a team effort. The men and women of the Kirtland Police Department, our city leadership and staff, our regional partners, and you, the community we are sworn to protect. You invited us into your schools, businesses, churches, and events, and you allowed us to be part of your lives, often on your hardest days. That is something I have never taken lightly. As I step away from this role, I do so with full confidence in the officers and staff who will continue to serve you. They are dedicated professionals who care deeply about this community, and I ask that you continue to support them, encourage them, and work with them in the same way that you supported me. Thank you for your trust, your partnership, and your kindness over the years. It has been a privilege to serve as your chief of police, and Kirtland will always hold a special place in my heart. Thank you so much.
Chief, also on behalf of council, I want to thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you over these past few years, and I wish you nothing but happiness and relaxation somewhere. Good luck. Okay, anything else to add for the chief this evening? All right, thank you. Chief, thank you. Okay, Mr. Fernaro.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to follow all that up with, my retirement letter also.
All
All right, just kidding. Just kidding. I'm going to,
Is now an appropriate time for me to resign or no?
so I'm going to waver a little bit from my usual report and thank the chiefs. I've been around for a minute, going on 43 years. I worked with a lot of chiefs. You guys are definitely at the top of my list. The help you give our departments and me, if we're flipping hamburgers or hot dogs, I know you were always there to have my back and our department's back, so it's greatly appreciated. Now on to my report before I start crying, and I got all over chat book, so I'll move on to my report. Mr. Smolik, first event was November 9th. You want to take a guess on how many we've had since then?
24.
We're on 33 snow events up until right now. Gas on gallons of fuel used from that event to this event, New Year's Eve. Gallons of fuel used by the Public Works Department.
4,632 gallons.
4,609, great.
Really?
Yes. And we're also up to 16,000 gallons, 800 gallons of brine. So that'll complete my report tonight. Again, chiefs, thank you again. That goes for your departments too. Whenever we're stuck, you can't ask for it. I think I'll echo Chief Hutton's words. It's definitely a family atmosphere, so we appreciate it.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Fernaro this evening?
How many gallons of brine? Ooh, that's a lot of pickles. Brine. Yeah. Fuel, pickles would be weird. Thank you.
Lucky guess.
Okay, Mr. Fernaro, once again, thank you and your department. You know, over the holidays and going into the first of the year, the amount of activity in plow trucks just did not stop. So I do want to special thanks to your department, because the roads in the city of Kirtland, you know, we all drive them, right? But there's nobody around here that takes care of the roads like you guys do. So appreciate the efforts and the focus on it. Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Fernauer this evening? All right, thank you. Mr. Courtney.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. First things first, Chief Hutton, Chief McAllister, congratulations. It's been a pleasure to work with you. Wish you both the best in your future endeavors. Sure you'll do great things. So we'll start off with the 2025 streets. We have two pieces of legislation on tonight's agenda, 26R1 and 26R2, for closing out the two paving contracts, one with Specialized Construction and one with Empire Paving. We request waiving the ratings tonight so that those final payments can be made to the contractors in a timely fashion. Kirtland Chardon Road, no updates since the last report in December. We're still on track to advertise that project in February for a start of construction in April. No updates on this 306 sewer extension. On the Wisner Wall, SME was sent the final base plan with all the updated information on the 22nd of December. And I'm waiting for the concept designs on that. And I've called out to SME to get an answer on that.
Mr. Courtney, has anybody looked at that since we've had all the weather between the ice and the freezing? And
Joe has. And I look at it every time I drive by it. So
okay,
I haven't been.
Any substantial change, or is it pretty much?
It's things are progressing, but nothing major has changed. The 10899 Tibbetts violations. The owner submitted an existing conditions plan and a partial SWIP plan on the 17th of December. And I had a discussion with him today. Joe and I went out to the site last week, took a look around, had a couple of concerns that I expressed to the owner. And I had a conversation with the owner and his wife today. I've also had some discussions with their engineer. Things are moving forward. I just don't have a firm date on when final plans will be submitted. So we're supposed to be setting up a conference call with the owner, his engineer, and me here this week to try and pin that date down. That's all I have for my report. Happy to take any questions.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Courtney this evening?
Kirtland Chardon, you said it was going to be February, correct?
Advertised in February, yes.
Okay. Julia, would you like to give us an update on the community center?
Thank you, Mr. Council President. For the community center, I just wanted to provide an update for our numbers. We ended 2025 with a total of 583 members, which is right on track for right around 600, which is a good number for us to be so we can accommodate all of them. And we were right around 50-50 split between residents and non-residents. Starting off 2026, we do already have 224 members signed up. And sign up can be anytime. It is $10 for residents or non-residents. Our current bus trips, I know everyone is very eager for those. We are sold out. We are going to Pier W tomorrow for lunch, and then they are going to Presque Isle at the end of January. In February, they will be going to Edwin's at Old Nighttown and the IX Center for what I believe is the last auto show. That is all I have for the community center. I wanted to provide an update on the Kirtland Police Association's Christmas in Kirtland event. I have closed it out, finalized numbers, and gone over I have provided a detailed report to the police department and the members there. For council, we had 11 families and 26 children that were helped this year. They range across all ages. We do have quite a few teenagers as well. I couldn't have done that without the support of the department and the city. With Tavern 6 setting up a giving tree, that truly helps fulfill a lot of the kids' wish lists and allows me to use most of the monetary donations then to help the family with whether it be gas or grocery gift cards. And we have a lot of monetary donations from private donors, members of the community, and different businesses, and a couple different restaurants also provide gift cards for the families for different amounts to come in and have dinner as well. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who donated to that and continues to support that program.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you. And thank you for everything you do with that. Okay, any questions for Julia this evening? Okay, thank you. Mr. Lallo.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I don't have a formal report, and I just wanted to thank both chiefs for everything you've done helping me and the law department as well throughout the city and our term together. I wish you guys nothing but the best.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Lallo this evening? With that, sending it over to the mayor.
Thank you, Council President Fenstermaker. I will surely try to be brief here. Quickly, just want to let everyone here know that Senator Serino has joined us this evening, and he's going to give us a legislative update report after we get through our legislation. So thanks to the senator for coming out. Thanks to a young man named Brady in our town who about 6-8 weeks ago brought to my attention that our deer hunting laws were a bit antiquated. And since then, the law director and the police chief worked together to create the legislation before you tonight. And I would not ask that you pass it tonight because we may have some people that want to come in a second reading, but I want to thank the young man Brady for bringing this to our attention. I want to thank the service department against, in very extreme conditions, obviously, tough working in those, low visibility, high winds, cold, all that stuff that we know. Keeping our roads safe. I got a text message I'll just read real quick from a resident the other night that I think is pretty important because it tells us a lot about what our service department does for us. New Year's greetings. Wanted to give a shout out to K-Town Service Department. On the ride home New Year's Eve, 1:30 a.m. from Bainbridge, the roads were a mess all the way until we got to Kirtland Line on 306. Along with the side streets, we're all clear. Bravo. Couple of other calls and text messages similar to that, but just thank you to you guys and thank you to police and fire for that extra support for the service department, and thanks to council members for receiving calls and forwarding those to administration and Mr. Finaro as well during those events. But really an amazing job, so thank you. On to our couple of retirees here. I'll speak a little bit more about Chief McAllister this evening because I'm going to have a chance to have Chief Hutton back here next week when we swear in the next chief, Matt Colleen. But quickly on Chief Hutton, how many years, Tony? I mean, that's unheard of in this day and age. The dedication is, you can't put it into words. I asked Matt during our interview, Mr. Clean during our interview, said, if you take a vacation with your family, will you come home if you hear about a fire in a surrounding city or city of Kirtland? And before I let him answer, I said the answer should be no. But Chief Hutton didn't do that. He came home, left the vacation, and Mrs. Hutton can attest to that, I'm sure. She was not entirely thrilled to probably leave that vacation. But that's the kind of dedicated service we have here from Chief Hutton. So again, like I said, there'll be a little bit more next week at that council meeting for Chief Hutton, but thank you, Chief. Chief McAllister. So I think everyone in this room knows that 4 years ago, or is it 5 now? 4.5? we began a process to bring in our next police chief after some pretty tough, a tough climate, let's say. And we had a department here with great men and women that the leadership had just gone, in a direction that needed a refresher, to say the least. Needed a reset button. We needed somebody to come into this community and this department that had integrity, that had intelligence, that had measure, and it had leadership skills not super common in our world today. Chief McAllister went through that process, and at the time it was a tough decision, but going outside of our department at that time really was the right move, we felt. And I think Brian's again, that reset button that he helped hit here and infuse a new level of respectability in our department, and professionalism and dignity and integrity and honor and all that stuff that is so very important in the world of policing. Brian did all that, and I wish you nothing but the best in your retirement. I know you will do continue to, whatever you do, you will continue to do great things. And just want to say congratulations to you and the family. And in a couple of months, we'll have a new police chief. But yeah, we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. So nothing else from me. I will turn it over to you, or if there's any questions from council, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay. Any questions for the mayor?
I have a couple, and feel free to phone a friend. But I feel like it's important to educate the community and manage the expectations of what's possible when it comes to plowing the roads when we have a snow event. So can we, just for purposes of educating the community, do you know how many miles of road we're responsible for in the city?
132 lane miles, I believe it is. Is that right, Mr. Farrell? 132 lane miles, yep.
Okay. And how many plow routes do we have? So how many, at max capacity, how many plow trucks are out to plow that 132 miles? Okay, but average? Okay. And how long does one cycle take where you're on a route and then you... Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So-
what I'm trying to get at is to manage the expectations of everyone expecting to see pavement at all times, and the fact that that just isn't possible when we are getting as much snow as we're getting in a time period. And if you finish a route and start a route over again and all of that kind of stuff, I just feel like it's important for people to have that understanding. Please. Thank you. That's great. Please don't take that as me coming at you at all. I'm just trying to help everybody understand. I do. Yeah. That's helpful. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Mayor, I do have one question for you. We have Resolution 26-R-3 tonight regarding the appointment of Richard Lowry. You need that passed tonight, or can that go to another reading?
Truly would help. We did have a resignation last month. Miss Irene Drozina, who did a great job for us for the last handful of years. So that position has been unfilled in the city, as a term in terms of a city representative for over a month now. I'd like to get it passed, but so not only. So I thought of Mr. Lowry, but before I even had a chance to contact Mr. Lowry, I actually had somebody from the health board reaching out to me, asking, it was their idea also, knowing that Rich was in our community. and thought he would be a great representative for Kirtland for that. So that kind of made it more of a no-brainer for me.
Okay, I'll answer my question. Thank you. Any other questions for the mayor this evening? If not, we'll move off of mayor's report and go on to the standing committee reports. Any updates on standing committee reports?
First, well, actually, question for the mayor is, obviously, you're going through budgetary discussions with the departments right now. I'm not sure if any of the departments are going to want a standing committee pertaining to their department, and when would that be appropriate, or when you'd like to have them? Obviously, I have service. Mr. Schultz is in here tonight. I'm sure police, fire want one of those also.
Yeah.
You could set one of those up also.
Yes, I think, just call it 2 weeks from now, let Lewis get the closeout for the year done. So that way you can get the department heads some preliminary reports, get us a chance to work with the new department heads.
It's usually beginning of February, just the second reading of February is the beginning of the 3 readings for the,
Toward the end of this month, though, and I'd like to make sure we have all of those meetings prior to the actual first reading of the budget, which will be sometime middle of February. Thank you.
maybe shoot, Mr. Fernaro, would you like to do one before the first meeting of the February or service department? One, would you like to do? Would you like to do that on a Saturday, or would you like to do that before the next? Okay, that's Ron and Scott are on that one. What works well for you guys?
Saturday mornings work fine for me.
Saturday. Joe never comes in on Saturday though, does he usually? He's in every Saturday, and then usually Sunday he'd be there too. So, morning ideally. 4:30 sounds good. Ron and you and Scott could be there. I'll be in a little bit later. What's day sounds good for you guys? We're talking beginning of February possibly, or end of January.
First week of February is fine for
Okay.
Saturday. Joe or Scott, any issues with that? 2/7?
2/7? 2/7, not good for you, Joe? 2/7 work, or? Okay. 2/7 and, what, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock? When do you get up from your beauty sleep, Ron?
8 a.m.'s fine.
8 a.m. Okay, that's good for that one. And, I'm not here. Service department?
Service department.
I'll meet at the service department then. And police and fire, I don't know who is on that one. Schultz has that.
Yeah,
It's
it should be
myself and
Matt.
Julie.
Yep. You guys can.
Julie and myself are on that one, so I don't either. Well, it would be Chief. Would I be Chief McAllister set up with Jamie on that one then, or yourself, or?
Yeah, if you're going to have another one, Jamie, I know we
Okay.
discussed our needs not too long ago.
Okay.
And kind of came to a.
Okay, well, I'll reach out to those guys
Okay.
and figure something out over the next couple of weeks then, between him and Mr. Clean. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to correspondence. Chief, I know you read the retirement letter, but there's two statements here: retirement letter community, retirement letter council.
I figure I'd let the council read it for themselves.
Did already.
Works
Thank
for
you.
me, thank you. Okay, moving on to public comments for matters not on the agenda tonight. Any public comments for matters not on the agenda? Name and address, please.
Good evening. Mike Doublejack, 7380 Ledgewood Drive. First, I would like to thank both the chiefs for your service. I know you guys been in the game for a long time, and thank you for what you do to the community. Joe, I'd like to appreciate and tell the service department for keeping up with the snow. It's a lot, I know that. So, I'm here to talk about Ledgewood and Rockwood. Doug, I know we talked the last meeting. Didn't know if you had a chance to assess what we talked about last meeting with the undermining of the road and what your thoughts are.
I did not get a chance to get over there and look at it yet.
Okay. All right.
With the snow cover and everything, so.
Understood. Okay. Joe, I know.
Does that mean, what are you talking about, by your house? Or
Yeah. There's some undermining of the road and making the aprons and driveways sink in. I believe it's probably not the good base that we have on the roads. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Understood. Understood. And I know you weren't at the last meeting. I just wanted to pick your brain. Do we need to do that to go further and have our roads paved? To have that done first and then go? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Mayor Potter, when can we have that assessment done? Is that with the funds that we're waiting for with the sewer bill, what we're paying into? I mean, how's that? When can we have that assessment done, I guess?
We're talking about the citywide assessment, Joe? Pavement assessment? Or are we talking about just in that neighborhood?
Just if we need sewers first, that's what.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we don't need any more sewer work, do you think, in your, besides on the roads and stuff? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So how do we get to the point to see where we need those improvements? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get the ball rolling. Okay. And see, okay. And those funds won't be ready until July, I think, of 2026. Okay. I just want to get a game plan on what we're going to do, and so we can get this going on the list of repaving. So, okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comments for matters not on the agenda this evening?
Michael, actually, we are short a police officer. You want to take us up? We can swear you in today?
I'm short too.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to old business. Public comments on matters of old business. Okay, moving on to new business. Public comments on agenda items of new business. Okay, moving on to 26-R-1, a resolution authorizing the closeout of the contract with Specialized Construction, Inc. for its work on sections 1A, 3, and 3A of the 2025 pavement rehabilitation project and declaring an emergency.
Motion to
Doug, we
waive,
wanted those two waived, correct? Okay.
motion to waive the 3 readings.
Okay, I have a motion to waive the 3 readings by Mr. Ziegler. Sue with a second. Any discussion? No discussion. Janelle, please call the roll.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Okay, looking for a motion to declare
Motion to declare an
emergency.
emergency and to adopt?
And I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Smolik with a motion to declare an emergency and adopt. Mr. Ziegler with a second. Any discussion? Janelle, please call the roll.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 26-R-2. Resolution authorizing the closeout of the contract with Empire Paving LLC, Inc. for its work on sections 2 and 2A of the 2025 pavement rehabilitation project and declaring an emergency.
Motion to waive the 3 readings?
Second that?
Mr. Smolik with a motion to waive the 3 readings. Ms. Grazia with a second. Any discussion? Janelle, please call the roll.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Okay, looking for a motion to declare an emergency and adopt.
So moved.
Second. Good.
Okay, Mr. Ziegler with the motion to declare an emergency and adopt. Julie with a second. Any discussion? No discussion. Janelle, please call the roll.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 26-R-3. A resolution confirming the appointment of Richard Lowry to the Board of Health of the Lake County General Health District and declaring an emergency. Looking for a motion to waive the 3 readings.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Smolik with a motion to waive the 3 readings. Julie with a second. Any discussion? Janelle, please call the roll.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Looking for a motion to declare an emergency and adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Simons with the motion to declare emergency and adopt. Ms. Grazia with a second. Any discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 26-0-4, an ordinance amending sections 618.14 of the codified ordinances of the City of Kirtland regarding bow hunting and required permits and declaring an emergency. Any discussion?
Did we need that one?
Okay, moving on to,
I'd just ask
Yes.
if someone could give us a quick summary of the difference between what we had and what the update is.
Chief McAllister?
yes, Chief, can you give us just an update on some of the changes that are being made to this?
Sure. Just the legislation we had was outdated. It wasn't jiving with what current ODNR rules and regulations were.
Okay.
So what the goal of this is it for this to mirror ODNR regulations in perpetuity, so we don't have to keep going in and making adjustments to it over time.
Thank you.
Okay, Chief McAllister, thank you. Okay, moving on to council comments. Again, I want to congratulate both chiefs and thank you for your service to the community and the residents of the city of Kirtland. Thank you. There was nothing else. We're going to move into continuing concerns, and we have Mr. Jerry Serino here this evening that's going to speak to us on some legislation.
Senator.
I'm sorry, Senator Jerry Serino.
I've been called worse.
How are you, Senator?
I'm great. Good to see you all. Great to be to my hometown council. Thanks to the mayor for the invitation, and council president and council for inviting me in. I thought what I would do is give you a little bit of a, since we just ended the first year of our legislative organizational unit. I would give you a little bit of an update on kind of the general things that we accomplished and tried to address, and also a little bit about property taxes, which is a pretty hot topic for discussion these days. And please, I'd be happy to entertain any questions during my conversation here. You don't have to wait till the end. First of all, I'd also like to thank the Chiefs. Since this is my hometown, I know the great job that the Chiefs have done. And thank you for your service and wish you the very best in your retirements. Jamie will do a great job. I've known Jamie since he was in high school. He actually dated one of my daughters for a little while. And he didn't pass scrutiny, but no, I'm just kidding. But I've known him for a long time, and he's going to do a great job in Kirtland for sure. And also, I want to congratulate the football team. And I do have them scheduled. I think it's sometime in late February or early March. They're coming to Columbus, and they'll be coming to the Senate chamber, and I'll get a chance to recognize them, and they'll get a chance to go to the House of Representatives as well at the same time. And I'm very proud of Kirtland's football team. It's great to, when the senators get together and talk about football, I'm always happy to talk about, where I live. And I'm very proud of the Kirtland team here. So as most of you know, I've been a resident here for about 27 years, live on Kirtland Chardon Road, and also thanks for the great service during these last several weeks especially. It's been great. And you haven't taken out my mailbox, which is really good. I do appreciate that. That's not a challenge. Okay. And, I have my current Senate District 18 which encompasses all of Lake County and about a third of Cuyahoga County. I actually go all the way out to Seven Hills, Brecksville, Independence, Cuyahoga Valley, Solon, and all the way up 271, up through and including Richmond Heights before we get to Lake County. So I serve and represent 375,000 people. I try to get to as many council meetings as I can, again, I thought this would be a great opportunity to kind of review 2025 since it's fresh in our memories here. The biggest thing that we did last year was the budget. I currently serve as chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, which does the budget. I'm also on the Energy Committee, the Rules Committee, Housing, and Higher Education Committees. All of those were impacted in the budget in some fashion. The budget is the operating budget, the general fund, as we call it, is upwards of $70 billion for the 2-year biennium budget. So it's a big deal, and it's a lot of work and a lot of time and effort to make sure that we are properly funding all of the activities that we need to in the state of Ohio. A couple of things that were particularly relevant this time around in the budget is that we got to a single bracket flat income tax, 2.75%, which will take in effect the next fiscal year, because we did it over 2 years. We did 3.25, and then we're going to go down to 2.75. So it's very simple. Everybody can calculate their taxes. If you earn under $26,000, you pay no tax, state taxes. Okay, and above that, everybody's got in the same bracket. Everybody's at the same rate, and it's of our neighboring states that have flat taxes, we are the second best. And in our connecting states that are immediately at our borders, we are the best. And so we think that that's one part of the formula to make Ohio a great place to attract population, to attract businesses or business expansion that's already here. And so we're very excited about that. And it's also more simple, being one bracket. We used to have we had like 8 or 9 brackets, and it was very difficult to figure out, how that was going to work and what your liability was going to be. And we have been doing that for the last 10 years, long before I got there. They have been reducing the brackets and the rates periodically, and now we're at a flat tax. Some people that are running for governor right now are talking about eliminating the state income tax. I can tell you as finance chairman that for us to get to 2.75 flat tax, I had to find almost $1.3 billion in either new revenue or reduced costs in order to justify that. If we were to eliminate the income tax altogether, which conceptually I'd be happy with, but we'd have to find close to $3.5 billion of either new revenue, which I don't think is out there, or reduced costs, which is going to be difficult because right now Medicaid is about half the operating budget. And so we have a lot of fixed costs that we have to deal with here. We did complete the last 2 years of the 6-year phase-in of the Fair School Funding Plan. And I took a look at Kirtland's numbers, and the school system here, which was rated very highly, by the way, has 5 stars. There are only 68 out of 611 school districts that got 5 stars. And so we should be very proud of that, in addition to football. We increased the total appropriation for public schools in Ohio by 4.7%, which is over $1 billion increase. And that translates into, in the first year of the biennium, $10.5 billion, and in the second year, $10.8 billion of state taxpayer dollars going to public education in the state of Ohio. We also tweaked the funding formula a little bit and added a performance supplement so that we're rewarding school systems that are performing. We added that to the formula, and that benefited a number of high quality school systems around the state. We also did something that was, I understand, controversial a little bit, but we did a major economic development project that involved the Browns relocation to Brook Park. I was very much involved in that one because I think it's a good economic development project. Right now, Brook Park is an economic dead zone. And we're able to, I think, with the financing method that we determined, are going to do this without making it a taxpayer-funded operation, which we try to avoid as much as possible. We also included in the budget over $200 million in housing incentives, particularly awarding communities for pro-housing policies. For example, like zoning. We have many parts of the state of Ohio that zoning restrictions make it difficult to have any expansion of housing. You know, it could be as simple as the residents like 5-acre or 10-acre minimum lots, right? Well, you're not going to get a lot of housing expansion unless you're willing to flex on that. So we put some things in to offer incentives without the state telling communities how they should be zoning, because we want to recognize certainly in a city's home rule. We also spent billions in the budget on higher education, mental health, and as I mentioned before, in Medicaid, which is skyrocketing. The numbers of people on Medicaid and the cost of Medicaid, believe me, I've seen the predictions for the next 5 years. It's unsustainable. We have got to do some things in reforming Medicaid. We also did some tremendous things, I think, in cost sharing for childcare, where the state will pay a third of those who qualify for childcare along with their companies and their individual share as well. And we continue to do a lot of adoption incentives we have had to reappropriate more money to the adoption incentives because we've had so many adoptions in the state of Ohio. So if just to throw out a couple of other numbers at you here, if you look at, you know, where does the general fund money go? So K through 12 is roughly, depending on which year you look at, if we look at 26, it's $11.6 billion of the funds that we collect in taxes, $22 billion in Medicaid, higher ed is almost $3 billion, corrections $2.5 billion, and general government $2.7, and that's to appropriate monies for the operation of all of our various departments. So that's where the dollars go. Where the dollars come from is sales tax. Sales and use tax is the biggest one at $14.8 billion. Income tax is $10 billion. Other state receipts for fees and licenses and other things, 6.2. And we do get $14.5 billion in federal grants for various programs that we have. So that's kind of where the money comes from. But you know, there's a lot of confusion out there about how much we collect in sales tax and income tax, and those two combined are about $25 billion of where we secure our funds. Now, in addition to the operating budget, we also are fiduciary for a lot of federal money that comes our way. We don't count that in the general fund money because we don't fully control it. But we are responsible for administering it and making sure that it's given out with the intended purposes of the federal government. So I'd like to talk a little bit about property taxes because it's been such a hot topic. First of all, I will tell you it is an extremely complex subject. We've been working on this for a couple of years now. We've had study committees, we've had individual committees evaluating opportunities. The governor had, as you know, a special task force that finished at the end of November or end of October that was studying what solutions we could do. But let me maybe clear up a few things. First of all, I want to make it clear that the state does not levy any property taxes. We don't levy a dime of property taxes. In fact, they are locally administered and determined. Not only do we not charge or collect any property taxes, we actually pay some of everybody's property taxes. With the 10% rollback and a 2.5% for owner occupied, the state is actually covering all of our property, some portion of all of our property taxes here. So when we were looking at all of our various committees, looking at what could we do to try to decrease the impact that inflation has had on values. That's really the culprit. Inflation is the culprit here. How we got to inflation, That's a political discussion. We can talk about that some other time. But inflation, as it is what caused home values to go up. And the way our property taxes have been structured locally and under some level of state law is that we had some protections from the 1970s in how values are used to assess property taxes, particularly for schools, which is about 70% typically of what we have in our that are levied against our value. Is that a lot of those in high inflationary periods, a lot of those inflation protection actions did not kick in. And so that's why we're seeing around the state, in some states, we don't have it so bad here, but in some parts of the state, it's really egregious. I mean, the increases have been substantial. And so what we try to do is, because the taxation itself is determined locally by the county, by the community, what we try to do is make some changes to under what conditions can values be recognized and go up. We try to put some caps on it. In the 4 bills that we passed before we broke in December, we're addressing those, and I'm going to talk about those in just a minute in brief summary. And if you're interested in reading the actual summary of the bill, I would not recommend you try to read the whole bill. It'll definitely put you to sleep. And it's just filled with lots of legal stuff that is necessary but not terribly interesting. But we do publish a summary of every bill. So the first one and the biggest one, and I think the most important one, was House Bill 186. And these are called House bills because we went back and forth. They may have started in the Senate, but we made changes to it, or the House had a bill that was similar, and we blend them together in committee, and they become a House bill by number. But the Senate was very involved in this in here. So the first one, 186, will save $1.7 billion over the next 3 years for property taxpayers. And that's split over those 3 years, 432, 608, and 633. The essence of House Bill 186 is it deals with changes how property school taxes grow when property values increase. Because there's some automatic things that automatically, particularly for districts that are above the floor or at the floor, that they lose a lot of the protections. And so just because properties are valued more, everybody gets more money, right? And some of them perhaps need it, but some of them don't and are carrying over large balances. What we've done in 186 is we've capped the spikes by saying that they can no longer total more than the CPI. So we've indexed it to inflation, basically. So let's hope inflation doesn't go back up to double digits or even the high single digits again. But it particularly impacts school districts that are already at the floor. We did add an amendment that in the budget, actually, it was done prior to these 4 bills, where we allowed each county to make their own decision. We did what we call enabling legislation. It was not telling them how to do it or what to do, but we gave them the authority to do it, and that was to double the homestead exemption in their county. And I'm happy to say that the 3 Lake County Commissioners did approve that back, I believe they did it in November, which means that if whoever is qualified to get homestead exemption relief, and there are economic requirements for that as well as age, that it will be doubled for you, and that'll happen at the next tax, probably in the July taxes. Okay, so that's going to be immediate tax relief for those who are on that. We also are increasing over a period of 4 years the 2.5%, what is now 2.5% owner-occupied credit. We're going to take that up to 15.5% over those 4 years. So that'll help. The real beneficiaries of that will be everybody who is owner-occupied. So that's tax relief, not to developers, not to folks that own apartments and that sort of thing. The next one is House Bill 129. And again, if you want more details on each of these 4 bills, please go to ohiosenate.gov, and you can drill down very easily to the bill by number. HB 129 is more about rules for school systems. And again, there've been a lot of holes in the process that have allowed some school systems, not suggesting we have any here, certainly, but that have taken advantage of the way the laws have been written in the past. So we tried to tighten some things up here. Again, in this bill, districts that are already at the floor, which is the amount that they have to collect on the values, there won't be any benefit if you're already at the floor. But it talks about, what kind of levies can school systems pass or put on the ballot. We did some refining to what is the definition of emergency levies and other types of levies. Again, there was, I think, some funny business going on in many school systems over the years that were not to the benefit of Ohio taxpayers. House Bill 309 empowers the budget commissions. I'm not sure how many of you know we even have a budget commission in Lake County. Matt, did you know that?
No.
Okay, so budget commission is comprised of 3 people: the county prosecutor, the county auditor, and the county treasurer. That already exists. It's just not been operative in many counties. I know of some counties in southern Ohio that they've been pretty active, but when I was a commissioner in Lake County, I didn't know about it either. I mean, it was just not something that we have done here. But what we've done is given them some more authority to go in, and the Budget Commission's job by statute is to make sure that taxes that are being levied and collected are necessary. Okay? Even if the local community people have voted for it, this is another point of review that can help avoid problems where a taxing entity might be collecting more money than they need to operate, maybe more than what they should keep in an emergency fund and that sort of thing. And it's still 3 elected officials, so they're still accountable to the voting public. And so we put some additional language in that will, I think, make it a little bit easier. And the last one is House Bill 335, which caps the growth of inside millage, again, to the inflation rate. So again, we're indexing several things to the rate of inflation, so that, and that's the CPI is an average national rate. Okay, some communities will experience different levels of valuation depending on what their communities are all about. And so we still now have at least a dozen other bills in the hopper right now, in the House and the Senate, on property taxes. So we're not finished dealing with property taxes, but I think we've made some great moves here. And the County Auditors Association has backed us. The County Commissioners Association likes what we've done, but we're not finished. We still have a long way to go. And that brings me to my final property tax point, and that is the danger of the petition that is floating around the state of Ohio right now. The petition is to eliminate property taxes, to put it on the ballot this coming November, to just eliminate them. And I wanted to, I get around to a lot of groups, and I talk about this every single time, because it could be very attractive when someone says to you, would you sign this petition to eliminate property taxes? Well, who wouldn't want to eliminate their property taxes, right? We all would, and people are signing that petition on that basis. Well, here's some facts behind that. The state of Ohio, local communities collect every year $22 billion in property taxes. Not just for schools. If you look at I brought my tax bill here. If you look at your tax bill, current tax distribution, it's part of the receipt that you keep. Okay? And right here in Kirtland, we have Lake County, Kirtland City, Auburn, Career Center, Lakeland Community College, Metropolitan Park District, Kirtland Public Library, a special assessment, And that's the value of my home, all of our homes in this room are paying for those levies that have been individually voted in most cases. The support for all of those things, plus the schools, will go away. We don't have $22 billion sitting around the state, which is taxpayer money, by the way, okay, to make up for supporting all of those things. So what I'm telling people, I've asked the people who are behind the petition drive, where do they think that money's going to come from to replace it? And their answer is, it enrages me. Their answer is, well, you guys in Columbus will have to figure it out. Oh, so they're going to create this big problem. It's going to end up in a shell game of taxes, because not that we would do this necessarily, because we don't think it's the state's issue. If we eliminated property taxes and had to come up with $22 billion, you're going to see a double-digit sales tax. Easily, maybe more. You're going to see income tax going in the opposite direction where we've been taking it, right? So we're going to pay for it someplace else. A sales tax that's double digits would be horrendous for Ohio's economy, because if you live within an hour of another state, guess where you're going to do your shopping? And we are bordered by several other states who have reasonable sales tax, right? So it would devastate the local economies of many, many communities in the state of Ohio. And while I understand and appreciate people's concerns, and particularly people on fixed incomes, about property taxes and the burden that it is, I was told by these same people who were circulating the petition that people in Lake County, seniors are being thrown out of their homes left and right. Those were their words. I called the auditor and the treasurer, who I know well, and I said, tell me what the process is for somebody to be thrown out of their house if they're delinquent on their taxes, and how often does this happen? Let me answer the second question first. It doesn't happen. Not one. If somebody is having difficulty paying their property taxes, and as long as they contact somebody, in the state, in the county, they sit down with them, they work a payment plan that will allow them to, go in arrears for a while and maybe catch up later, or even an agreement that when they liquidate their home, the taxes have to be made up, that sort of thing, which is what happens anyway. When you sell your house, if you're missing taxes, you've got to cover them. So they're actually telling half-truths out there, in some cases no truth at all, in order to get people incentivized to support eliminating property taxes. Again, we have tried to listen to thousands of people who have testified in Columbus, and again, we appreciate and understand the frustration, but we don't want to go from one problem to another bigger problem, which is what would happen if we eliminated property taxes. So I'm telling everybody that I talk to and that I meet and that I know to please don't get sucked in by the attractiveness of eliminating property taxes, because, the piper's going to get paid somewhere. And all of these services that we are paying for right here in Kirtland need to continue to be supported, including our schools, of course, as the biggest one. And so I would just ask you to please share those thoughts with people that you know, and maybe even if they already signed the petition, they can't undo it. But if it were to get on the ballot, we all have to fight very hard, because it would terribly upset the economic structure of our community and the whole state of Ohio. So, Mr. President, I would take any questions if anybody has any at this point. I apologize for taking so long.
No, first, Senator, I want to thank you for coming and spending the time this evening to just give not only council but our residents some updates on what I would consider property tax reform, right? And I do think it's well overdue, and I'm glad it's being addressed, and I think it's important that we continue to do that. You mentioned there's how many? At least a dozen more bills that are in the hopper currently. So we'll continually see some progression, throughout the first part of the year to see that change in the reform side. The one bearing question I have is with school funding, right? And state of Ohio and funding schools with property taxes. In any of those bills, is there any discussions on changing how we address the funding of schools?
Yes, there are several that we actually had last year that, we that spilled over into this year.
I think that impacts and puts some communities in great position, but it also is a very big detriment and hurt in other communities.
When we were doing the budget, thank you for the question. When we were doing the budget, we were in real time. Every time we were dealing with the appropriations for schools, every time we would say, okay, let's try this. And then we would run it through all 611 school systems in the state and see how it impacted each one of those. We have big spreadsheets the stack was that big. And then we'd say, okay, geez, that impacts too many in a very negative way. Let's try something else. We try something else. And we plugged in all kinds of variables to see what the impact would be. There's no solution that will make everybody happy, okay, unless we decide to put another couple of billion. But one of the things that we're looking at in some of the bills that I've read, I haven't read all of them that are in the process right now, but there's people calling for, the Auditors Association is calling for school system consolidation. If you want to look at, I did this in my business career. I was in business consolidation, and I just look at the school systems today in Ohio, and I can salivate over the opportunities to take cost out. The problem is, people might talk about philosophically consolidating school systems, but nobody wants to do it. No community wants to consolidate their school system. If you go out to Fairport Harbor has a school system. They're right next to Paynesville. You could hit a 6-iron. Maybe for Joe it would be a driver. But, yeah. But and then we've got Madison right there. We got who am I missing?
Riverside. You got
Riverside.
Riverside.
You got all of Paynesville, and you got Perry. So you could easily come up with a plan that says, okay, and I'm just using them as examples. You could come up with a plan easily to say, do we need 7 superintendents? Do we need 7 boards? Do we need 7 principals and 14 vice principals? I don't know. I'm not an educator, so I'm not the one that should be making that call. But just ostensibly, you can look at that and say, if you take that all around the state of Ohio, there are huge opportunities for some savings in consolidation that might reduce the tax burden as well. There are a couple of bills I've seen, the summaries of them, that would like to find a different way to fund schools other than from property taxes. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the old DeRolf Supreme Court case. It's used a lot in discussions on higher ed or on K through 12 funding. And it was an old case where the Ohio Supreme Court determined that using property taxes to support public schools was unconstitutional. That's what they said. They didn't recommend a solution to it. So that
went to court 3 separate times?
Oh, it was, yeah, but they took it all the way up to the Supreme Court in Ohio. The Supreme Court said, yeah, it is unconstitutional. And the reason for that, as some of us will recall, was that the quality of your education should not be determined by your zip code. So a kid in Shaker Heights should not get a better education than a kid in Paynesville in a perfect world. Right now, there are other circumstances. There's family situation, there's socioeconomic, and so on. So the legislature for a couple of decades didn't know what to do with that. So what we did was we kept adding billions and billions of dollars every 2 years in our budgets and a funding formula to try to incorporate socioeconomic conditions so that, for example, Paynesville would get more money from the state in the new formula because their socioeconomic conditions were less than Shaker Heights or someplace else, Chagrin Falls. Okay. And I'm blessed with, the top 2 school systems in the state of Ohio, in Solon and Chagrin Falls in my district. And so I have the very best, and I also have those that are struggling, like Painesville. And so our solution to the Supreme Court determination was, let's figure out a way to change the parameters by which we fund the schools to take into account struggling economic communities. Now, it's not perfect, and it doesn't solve the entire problem, but right now, nobody has come up with a good idea of how to replace using property taxes for supporting schools. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Okay.
I believe sales tax, you'd have to increase sales tax by what, 10 to 12%?
We would probably see, I did a back of the envelope kind of a,
10 to 12%.
it would have to be like 18%. It'd be close to a value-added tax like Europe has in Canada. It would.
Really do bad taxes. Well, there's only a few things you could.
Yeah, sales tax is not, it would ruin our economy here. Besides make it difficult for people. I mean, it's also a regressive tax. People with less economic means get hurt more than people who are not. And so why would you increase, quadruple or double or triple a tax that is regressive, trying to help people? I mean, it makes no sense. Makes no sense. Any other questions that?
Why would the data center?
Yeah.
Involved with the Perry and stuff, like your thoughts on that?
Sure. Thank you for asking that. I forgot to mention energy. If you asked me 2 years ago what the biggest impediment for continued economic growth in Ohio is, I would have said workforce. Okay, but we've made a lot of progress on our workforce, actually. Okay, we put a lot of money into workforce development, community colleges, places like Auburn that are, we gave them lots of money to double their enrollment and so on. Right now, if you ask me that question, I would say that energy is the #1 problem we're going to have. And I sit on the Energy Committee, so I see a lot of the details. We are headed towards, in 5 years, we are headed towards some of the problems that California and Texas had not too long ago. And one of the problems, it's not the only problem, but data centers who are flocking to Ohio because we have workforce and because we have fresh water, we have all kinds of things, and good education facilities, but they consume so much power. They operate 24/7 at peak. And when I was a county commissioner started in 2016, one of the first things I did was jumped on board to try to save Perry Nuclear. Some of you may remember that. And I spent a lot of time, I actually testified in front of the Senate and the House several times, never thinking I would end up down there, to make sure that we didn't close Perry or Davis-Besse. Those 2 nuclear plants, if they had their way back then, they would both be closed now for almost 2 years. And yet we get 92% of our baseload power from those 2 plants.
You understand, how important the grid
Yeah.
finally become a conversation again.
Yes.
Up in Washington State, I believe, first one in 25 years. We're originally supposed to be 12 billion. 27 billion.
Well, there's an alternative to that right now because building another Perry-type plant is not in the cards. They don't do those anymore, pretty much. What they have now are called SMRs, small modular reactors. And these SMRs can be delivered on a flatbed truck. They're not going to produce the amount of power that Perry does, but they can go to an industrial park, and they can do what we call behind the meter metering, where this facility can be jointly owned and operated by the companies that are there, including data centers. They're doing that in some places. And they're even reopening 3 Mile Island now. Google and Microsoft are doing that, yeah. So nuclear is a huge solution to our problem here, but SMRs right now, the small modular nuclears, still require Washington to approve it. The NRC still has to approve it, and they don't move very quickly. But we're working with our 2 senators to try to get some laws changed and regulations changed so we can operate these plants. If we don't solve this energy problem here, not only are costs going to keep going up, because the price that PJM, which operates our network here for 12 states and the District of Columbia, their auctions that they do every year for power contracts for the future continue to go up because there's fewer producers than there needs to be. So we need to solve that problem, and that's going to be a major priority for the legislature this year. Hope I answered your question.
You did,
Okay.
thank you.
Anything else? Great. Well, thank you very much. And again, I'm proud to be living in Kirtland. I've been here for 27 years now, and I love it. Whenever they quote me in the newspaper or on TV, they always put my name and dash Kirtland on there. So Kirtland's always getting some news. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
Senator, thanks for this evening.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time. Okay, moving in for adjournment. All in favor? Aye. Motion to adjourn was Joe, second was Scott, every percent of it.